There's a moment every country eventually faces. The bills are due. Tax revenue isn't enough. Debt is already massive. And yet, the government still spins. Roads get built, wars get funded, banks get rescued, checks get sent. So the question isn't political, it isn't ideological, it's mechanical. Where does the money come from when there isn't any left? Because no trucks deliver it, no vaults open. No one prints pallets of cash and rolls them into the economy. And yet, money appears. Imagine an ordinary morning. You wake up, you check your bank app. Your balance is a number on a screen. That number feels real because it works. You can swipe it, transfer it, pay rent with it. But here's the unsettling truth. Most of the money you use every day was never physically created. It was typed into existence. Let's rewind. For most of history, money was limited. Gold, silver, paper backed by something tangible. If a government wanted more money, it needed more metal, more taxes, more time. That limitation acted like friction. Spending had consequences that showed up immediately. But modern economies removed that friction, quietly, gradually, technically, and almost no one noticed. Today, when a government needs money, it doesn't start by printing it. It starts by borrowing. Governments issue bonds. These are promises. I'll take money now and I'll pay you back later, with interest. Who buys these bonds? Pension funds, insurance companies, foreign governments, and most importantly, central banks. Central banks are not normal banks. They don't take deposits from people. They don't give you loans. They control the system underneath the system. Interest rates, liquidity, confidence. When money feels scarce, when markets freeze, when governments are running out of room, central banks step in. And this is where money gets strange. A central bank doesn't need to have money to buy government bonds. It creates it, digitally, with keystrokes. No printing presses, no physical exchange. The central bank credits a bank's account. In return, it takes the bond. Just like that, new money exists. Not because someone earned it, not because something was produced, but because authority allowed it. This process has a name: quantitative easing, liquidity injection, asset purchases. The names sound technical, neutral, almost boring, but the effect is enormous. Because when central banks create money, it doesn't spread evenly. It flows through specific channels first. Picture water poured into a tilted container. The top fills before the bottom ever sees a drop. New money enters the system through banks, financial institutions, and markets. Asset prices rise. Stocks, real estate, bonds. Those who own assets feel richer. Those who don't. And by the time that money reaches wages, prices have already adjusted. This is why inflation feels personal. It's not just prices going up, it's purchasing power moving, quietly, unevenly. Your savings don't disappear overnight, they erode, slowly enough that it feels normal, fast enough that you never catch up. Now zoom out. Why does this keep happening? Because modern economies are built on growth. And growth requires credit, and credit requires money. When growth slows, debt becomes heavier. When debt becomes heavier, the system strains. So central banks are forced to choose: let the system break, or create more money to keep it running. They choose stability, every time. This is not a conspiracy, it's structural. Once a country's economy is large enough, complex enough, and indebted enough, there is no clean way back. Cut spending too fast, and the economy collapses. Raise taxes too high, and growth dies. Default on debt, and trust evaporates. So the least painful option becomes the quiet one. Create money. Absorb the shock. Push the cost into the future. But the future always arrives. And when it does, people feel something is wrong, even if they can't explain it. They work more, save less, feel stuck. They hear that the economy is strong, but their lives feel fragile. That disconnect isn't accidental. It's how invisible systems feel from the inside. Here's the part rarely said out loud. Money creation is not about generosity, or fairness, or even growth. It's about control. Control over timing, over collapse, over who feels the pain first. Because money creation decides winners before it ever touches the public. And once a system relies on it, it can't easily stop. Raising interest rates becomes dangerous. Stopping support risks panic. Pulling liquidity, always balancing on the edge of too much and too little. This is why crises today feel different than in the past. They don't end. They roll. One emergency bleeds into the next. Each one answered with more money, more debt, more intervention. Not because leaders are reckless, but because the system leaves them few alternatives. So when you hear that money was injected or stimulated or supported, remember what that really means. Someone created it. Someone decided when. And someone will pay for it later, even if they never signed anything. And maybe the most unsettling part isn't that money can be created. It's that once you see how it works, you realize the question was never who creates money when there isn't any left, but who gets to decide when creation becomes a necessity and when the cost finally becomes unavoidable.